Hey, what's good, people? This is the Option Podcast. This is episode 110. That way. That dude is John Schwengel. The episode starts right now. Let's run that again. Well, people, this is episode 21. This is the Option Podcast. I'm your host with the most. I'm Jason DeBeas, and you guys have asked and asked and asked, and I deliver because I've got to give the people what they want. John Schwengel. What's up, man?
Happy to be here, man. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. So before we got on the podcast, you said you were doing some training out in Long Beach a little bit?
Yeah, down here in Long Beach and Huntington. Trying to get out whenever I can right now. Doesn't really feel like a whole season happened, you know?
Yeah.
Still kind of fresh, me and Devon.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Corey?
Say that again?
Evan and Corey
Or Devon Burki.
No, Devon Burki. Oh,
Yeah.
we're definitely, dude. This is a conversation, not an interview, but we're definitely going to be in interview mode because this is quite the path the two of you have taken, and some discoveries and mid transformation that I have, as you know, I have witnessed firsthand, and
Absolutely.
really
You're on
wish
the
I.
court for one of them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's start there. Manhattan Beach.
Yeah.
I'm coaching Jeff Samuels, right? And Kyle Ratty. We got Kyle Ratty off the construction site and into the deep sand, and everything's going well, and we win the first game by a lot, and then something happens. You guys make a couple of adjustments, and Jeff's a strong personality. Him and Kyle took a while for them to make adjustments, and even though we won that game, it felt like a loss. Until I saw you guys play in Chicago.
Yeah.
Until I saw you guys play in Chicago. First of all, let's go to Manhattan Beach. Let's talk a little shop because that game on YouTube right now is it got like 1,000 views in the first half day. So, well, that's what happens when guys like Jeff. On a national scale, he moves the needle. He travels around, and so do you. What was, if you can remember, because it seems like there's so many tournaments between Manhattan Beach and now, doesn't it? Even though it was just last month. Doesn't it seem like last year? What was, from between game one and game two, talk to me. What was one of the adjustments that you made as a defender or Devon Burki made at the net?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, man, y'all smoked us the first game. 21, like 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
And then
no, 14 was the game you smoked us. That was the second set. But go ahead.
But yeah, I think we kind of split serves. We were serving the wind side. Made the adjustment to the second set just to serve Ratty, and then I just told Devon to stay over low pressing up and early over the net, and we kind of just really made our side out game more consistent. Really chilled out. I just played our game a little bit. Devon was a little freaked out to play Jeff. Jeff had beaten us pretty bad in Wapaka too with Dylan. So he was kind of in his head a little bit, but we both steadied out and kind of just gave you guys a much better second set.
John, there's nothing like a good old ass whooping on a good team that makes you get rid of any jitters or whatever, or psychological block that prevents you from beating certain teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the same thing happened to us in Chicago too. Thursday, first match against Peter Canal, Leela Tucker. They beat us like 21-13 or something like that.
And you're like, we got him where we want him. Sorry.
Yeah. We were like talking a little shit the night before on Instagram and stuff too, and yeah, we'll get that for sure.
So I had a different mindset after Chicago, because that game in Manhattan Beach was weird. That was the game that a lot of people felt you guys should have won. You had match point.
We had you guys like
it was match point, and you got a dig
3 or something. Yeah, we had match point on you
twice. Yeah,
two of them. Yeah, that was one we wish we could have back. But Jeff and Kyle played very well in the end. I mean, They
But
they
when we,
did they did take it to some degree, but at the same time too, we did kind of give a lot to them.
when we switched sides on 15 up, I said you effed up. And I was saying it to you guys, but not really. I was like, if like Jeff, when he switched sides, there was a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Where they're like, he was like, dude, if we were gonna lose, it was probably gonna be one of those 2 points. So now let's go to Chicago. Walk me through. Actually, let's go. I was gonna go on BVB and walk me through as I'm looking for BVB. Walk me through, because for the people, excuse me if I'm bumbling, for the people listening, right, and the people watching a video version of this, on the 3-stop tour, the qualifiers are now 2 days.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. The qualifiers,
like lower points. Yeah.
right. The qualifiers were 2 days. So some people, and the reason I'm setting you up for this,
Yeah.
in my estimation, there wasn't one team that made phase 1 and phase 2 to the draw. In fact, almost all of those teams lost the first round.
So I think it was Marty from the AVP who told us the stat. Phase 1 teams up until us that tournament were 1 for 16 in matches on Thursday. So they just won 1 out of the 16 that they played.
So let's go through these. I'm gonna zoom in on some of these. Let's see the Schwengel. Dude, this is what happens when COVID happens and you got to tech your show. You become an expert.
Thanks,
Porter, Moran Smith. Oh, this is the wrong one. So let's go back for a second. That's Manhattan Beach. I'll take us to Chicago in a minute. So I've coached some players. Rob McLean, he made phase 1 that day. I'm Rob's coach, and Rob, by the way, Rob looks terrific right now. And he always has. He just had.
He did for sure before COVID. And dude, I played New York 2019.
Yep.
I think with Rob. Yeah.
Physically, he's always had it. He just had to fix the software. The hardware was fine, right? Sometimes, right? He still reaches 11.5. He can still block or play back row. He's still a hybrid player, and
hit with the right and left too.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. So here it is. Let's go to qualifier, and I'll zoom in. There we go. So you played Green and Jimenez. Jimenez is a pretty good player. I like that guy.
Dude, they were good. They beat us the first set.
Yep. Which kind of puts you in jeopardy, right? Because if they're gonna win, if they have any chance of winning the match, it has to be that first set, right? They have to win that first set. It's a lot of pressure on them. And then you guys, that's phase 1, people, for everybody watching. Phase 2, Landell and Prima, they did well. Dude, Partain and Lotman made the semifinals from the qualifier.
Yeah.
Of course, the Brazilians, right? Mastrini made the finals through the qualifier. They went to the finals, subsequently losing to April and Alex. So here it is, Cano and Tucker, right? Zoom in on that for people who are on their phones. I'm gonna do y'all that favor. You're welcome. First game, like you said, kind of went how others thought it went. And the only 2 people that thought they're gonna win this match were the 2 of you. I didn't. I'm gonna tell you to your face. I didn't think you're gonna win that match, but just the same. And then you're kind of in the catbird seat because you took down a higher seed, but we both know Amarim and Boag are not an easy out. Though chemistry wise, I didn't see how their this first time team would just instantly gel. And then beating David Lee and Kyle Friend, always a tough out. Congratulations, you made the main draw on that. What was some of the things? All right, I'm gonna do a 2-part question. This is a John Mayer thing, because John and Mayer and I work together a lot. In fact, I'm wearing those colors today. I was his assistant in 2018 for the women's beach team. What's one thing you thought Devon did in the qualifier that, if you could give me one thing you thought he did well that helps you win some of these games?
I'd say the number one thing was his setting. That's one thing we really figured out and kind of pieced together that last tournament. I got every single serve basically throughout the entire qualifier, so he was able to just keep it in the same spot, really nice and consistent, and make it as easy as possible on me. And then just blocking too. He's always been a monster. He's like 6'8", I don't know, something like that. But he's always been huge, but just kind of figured out really where to put his hands and kind of the timing on the moves and everything. So I'd say, I mean, number one thing is the setting. Blocking comes next, but he's always been kind of unservable. He's a good passer. He's touching like, I don't know, something close to 12 feet out of the sand. So it's tough to go after that. So everybody's been going after me, and the setting just like really came together.
Yeah. Well, listen, any player would tell you whether they're getting their AAA rating or whether they're on the world scene. You see a big guy, they don't. The question everybody asks is, how's his setting? Because right, you already know unless he's going to option you to death, he's not going to get served, right?
So
It's the reason Greg Faulkner plays fours and you know, and he's the first one everyone calls to play fours, but the last person everyone calls to play doubles, so or Manhattan sixes. Yeah, very well said. Now, my turn. I'm gonna bounce. I thought one thing I thought he did well because I was able to follow some of your matches thanks to live streaming. We've been this really good volleyball family the last 3 years with live streaming. It's particularly Evan Corey,
for sure.
Evan Corey, Dylan Cox. You know me whenever I'm there and whenever I can. In fact, I got scoreboards on my live streams now.
And that's one thing that's really been like
go ahead.
improved recently is just any tournament that's going on. If you want to watch it, you've generally been able to. It's really cool.
And that's just, to me, that's just people keeping their promises. I don't like people that preach that we need to be a family. We need to unite and be one big heart. And then, you know, that symbolism's not followed by any form of volleyball activism, what I call volleyball activism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's one thing I thought that Burki did well. Physically, I thought he did a really good job setting his feet and planting. Like, if he knew where the set was going to be, if it was a high set, all of a sudden the percentages of him blocking it, touching it, or you hitting out changed drastically. I'll bring your attention to Kyle Ratty, right? His supercomputer fixed it. You know, so much to a point where I actually told Ratty to switch right side and just run the back set. Instead, they just switch right side and hit right side, and I'm just like, fine. But I mean, because I think that got lost in translation. I'm like, we can't. Very much like Prima, like left Prima, you cannot have that person just sit there and wait on you and expect them not to self-correct. So, you were gonna say something because you know I can keep rolling all day. What were you gonna say?
Something about Ratty. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that match and how kind of like you were saying, like with that set and kind of it was kind of a result of the passing too. I feel like we were serving well and getting him to pass all over the place, but Devon really wasn't able to ever set his feet anywhere. He was kind of always reaching for stuff. Jeff is a great setter too, so he was able to put it in the right spot. But yeah, and then I don't know, like you said, Kyle just kind of fixed himself when it counted.
Yeah, his supercomputer corrected. It was like, have you ever seen, what was that, Justice League movie when like the Flash tried to sneak up on Superman from behind and everything slows down and then Superman does this, like the corner of his eye, and he's like, oh shit, that's what it looked like. What Devon Burki did. His supercomputer self-corrected. And so that's from a physical point. From a psychological standpoint, he's one of these players that plays better when he keeps the mood light.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I don't want some dickhead coming up to him saying, you got to be more intense. You got to take this more seriously. No, this is how he plays serious volleyball. He keeps the mood light. His muscles are loose. So you know, you're his partner, and I'm a hand off the football to you, and you carry the rest of that for me. Keeping the mood light. Go.
Yeah, no. So that is one thing that we've like kind of tugged back and forth on. Like, I'm pretty serious and just like to not really celebrate that much. I like to always look to the next point and be super analytical and kind of always strategizing. And he, like you were saying, he definitely is a lot better when it's kind of the mood's light, we're having fun, getting points, celebrating, high-fiving afterwards. So it's something we especially towards Chicago, we had to like meet the middle at, kind of do a little bit of both to be able to succeed. But yeah, same thing in the main draw when we got on center court. He was a bit nervous, but then as soon as he started bouncing balls and getting blocks and stuff, he would celebrate and start playing a lot better. And same thing as all these tournaments like we're talking about. We got killed the first set, and then kind of made adjustments and came back. And one of those adjustments was just kind of coming out with a little bit more energy, which then got us a little less tense and being able to have more fun. It's better for Devon and play them a better set.
It is. Look, I don't know what made this guy kind of like roll off the couch and be like, I think I want to stay. I think I want to take a real stab at this volleyball thing. But as far as having a partner in crime or an accessory to what he's doing, I really, really like that you guys are a good team, are playing together. And
we're having a lot of fun, man. Devon's a lot of fun to play with. He's a lot of fun to travel with. Even when we'd lose bad, like Atlanta, we played phase one. We made it to the Thursday qualifier, but then we just went 0-1, got kind of murdered by Vaught and Clemens. And, pissed off for an hour or two, but then after that, just have a fun trip, you know?
It is what it is, yeah. His father's very supportive, too. One of the best volleyball fathers ever, man. He's just out there. He's intense. I chat with that guy all the time, man.
Yeah. Fuad's a good guy. He's really funny. He's fun to travel with as well. We've taken...
Oh, did he go to Atlanta?
No, he came to Chicago, and then he took one other trip with us. I think it was to like Texas and Florida or something like that. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. It was to Texas and Florida.
Right. Yeah, I like... Well, he's also handsome as fuck, too. Like, I was at Tower 12 one night, and I was like, I need you to stand next to me so I can sport you. And he's like, what does sporting mean? And I'm like, you know, young cat, I'll tell you along the way. I'll tell you as we go, as we just keep on attracting the hens, you know? But, yeah, it's okay. All right, I'll freaking say it. Sporting means you need in order to make other girls that make you think you're good looking, you need a good looking guy next to you. So, you know, sporting. Or if you have a good looking girlfriend, like what do people think of her? Well, you can sport her. You know. So, but it's sexist when you say it about women. So, guys, we're not a protected class, and that's okay. Sorry, Devon Burki. Now. From you, I'm going to ask a different question.
Yeah.
If you, and this is retrospective, we're going to go to Chicago, only talking about the last two tournaments because Atlanta is 100 years ago. If there is one thing you thought you could have done better, let's go to Chicago first. Okay. Give me one thing fundamentally that you wanted to do a little bit better. Going into the next tournament, that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say number one thing is passing can always be better. Just finding that perfect and consistent spot. Because like I was saying, Devon's biggest struggle probably in his game right now is with his setting. So if I can give him that perfect pass, it just makes it so much easier for him and myself. The only other thing I can really think of is just physicality. Gaining some pounds this offseason, jumping higher, hitting harder, kind of getting that same plan with the really big boys. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, for you, I would say just continue to hone your technique and allow the power thing to take care of itself. There are people who are your size, at your build, that are hitting the shit out of the ball, right? Taylor Crabb, not anyone by any stretch of the imagination anyone would consider muscular, right? But he's got good technique. He's got something my friend calls the Queen's wrist. I have a friend, Brent Osborne, lives in New York. All he does is dance. I'm like, you know, look, he's not out there playing an elite sport, but I think if he took it more seriously, retrospectively, he could have. So it's one of those things where, of course, take care of your physical conditioning, but if you have a technique that's getting stronger offensively, allow that to get stronger on its own. Practice question. And I'll give you an example. John Mayer, we're LMU. When we do receiving drills, passing drills and receiving drills, we assign each player to have something we call a passing focus. So the girls come into the drill. That girl's focus is straight and simple. That one is one move to the ball, right? That one is hold your platform, which I'm huge on, which I'm big, and I'm as an indoor coach, a former indoor coach, I'm really big on. So how much, what do you do in your drills, in your practice drills? Like, you want to get better at serve receive. How do you approach that? How does your coach approach that with you?
Well, I'd say something similar. try and talk before every practice and give yourself 3 goals on 3 things you want to get better at. You can focus on one thing at a time or all 3. So I'd say like passing per se. I'd say if I want to get better at passing towards the net, we just start with some serve receive and really kind of hone it in until maybe I get 10, 15, 20 perfect passes, switch sides, do the same thing, then kind of move from there into a little bit more game-like. Have somebody serve us, get the pass, just the set, and then maybe just standing, snap it over, same thing, good until like you get like 10, 20 good ones. And then just kind of like starting very basic and then evolving it into the game-like situation. I'm really big into that. It's what I feel like is the most like implemented type of practice.
Yeah, 100%. The reason why we do one focus, because at the end of the day, you're not going to not do the other things around it, right? You're going to play volleyball around it. Me as a coach, like if someone's focus in that drill is hold their platform, we can see it. Like we've been doing this long enough because what I like to do at the end of the drill, I want to guess. And to me, if I can't guess, either something I'm missing, or they forgot. They somewhere in the middle of the drill, they forgot what their focus was. Like if someone's making one move to the ball, there's almost this exaggerated thing where the one move, their first step's a little bit bigger. They got the instant speed. On the hold, the hold is almost dorkily exaggerated. You know, you ever see Kelly Reeves play or Hartong? They played in Atlantic City together. Hold. They were like the hold queens. So that's why I as a coach, I do one, because if you have 2 or 3, it's very easy to forget one when one of those 2 or 3 goes wrong. It's very easy to forget the other 2 because you're trying to fix that one when you could have just went into the drill with just one to begin with. So I like what you said. What about Chicago? No, I just said Chicago. What about Manhattan Beach? There's one thing you thought you could have done a little bit better, fundamentally. Was it still serve receive?
Say that again.
Was it still serve receive for Manhattan Beach?
I mean, that's a good question. And then we were automatically into phase 2, so that was our one match against you guys. So that was kind of different than the rest of the ones for us. I mean, as far as the one thing I could have done better, I'd say the only thing is just maybe step to the ball better on defense. I thought, especially towards the second and third set, my side out really cleaned up and kind of took shape, and I was siding out well.
Yeah.
Yelling at Devon a little bit, he sided out well. We had that weird middle stretch in the third set where they just went on this little monster tear of getting real points, but I mean they were all earned and everything. There were a couple plays towards the end where there were balls I should have dug that either didn't come up or came up over the net or something like that. I think that might have been the difference.
So like if we're watching like that match, it's like one of those things where if you have a dig on match point, I think as a player, maybe you might be asking yourself, was the execution of the dig, as far as it being a transitionable thing. Transitionable is not a word, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. Right? It's not a word. Yeah. So I think us as players, if we challenge ourselves, could my dig have been more? You know what I'm saying? Something where he could put his hands on, something that's like an option. Or I'm actually looking up the game right now as I'm talking to you, so forgive me. I wanted to see if I can get to that last game.
I don't know if you remember, but we go up, I think it's 15-14. I get, we run a 4-on Ratty when he's on that right side that you were talking about.
Yep.
Shoots a high line right into it, goes kind of short into the wind, and I dive with 2 hands to get it up, and it's an overpass right to him, and he puts it away. I mean, that was our chance to win the game right there.
That was. I'm actually going to it, actually. Here's the cool thing. The cool thing about having a scoreboard, God bless having a scoreboard. I'm going to actually, since we're talking about it, I see 15-16. Let's go to 14-13 first. Because I wonder if you actually had a dig on that. Let's see. All right. Oh man, my thing just quite an attitude. There it is. All right, so this is 13 up. Isn't this cool? I could do this on the podcast.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is really sweet, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what happened was when COVID happened, I had to learn how to tech my own show because my girls were. Oh my God, that's when I thought we were gonna lose. That gave you 14, right?
Yeah. I think that's 14 all.
Oh.
Yeah. No, that was for 14 all.
No,
but,
God.
we all thought that it was 14-13 still because we thought it was frozen. So then, yeah, I think we get this point right here.
What a great dig. Nice patience. Oh, Jeff hits the net. No.
Yeah, but so
right,
in our
here it is.
minds right now,
I'm scrolling 10
that's what we're
seconds.
talking about right there.
Go ahead.
So in our minds, it's 14 all right there. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You've had a good disguise on your 4 and 5 block switch too. Like, look at the balance. Oh, that's the one. Oh my God, look at your face. You're like, man, that's the one I should have had. So that's 15 up.
Right.
Let's scroll ahead.
Fully known and aware fuck up.
Oh my God, sorry, man. I mean, I'm gonna have you on the podcast. I'm trying to keep it positive. Let's go up and down. Wow, Jeff was almost overran that. He was. All right, and then last play. Sorry. Oh, Kyle got Brady got the last. I think he got a block, right? He got a wrap up. All right, so let's do that. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to work around. Yeah. Right. Sorry. Oh, man. Man, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to. No, but I think the reason why I showed the video is because I thought on some of the conventional plays, 1 block, 2 block, you did a really good job of staying home. Your first step was really good because your first step allowed you to have instant speed with the right to slow down, as opposed to some people when their first step is small, they're doing a running man and they're still in the same spot. So whatever you're doing in practice, which you said you want to get better at, I think you're already showing significant improvements even where you think you're flawed. So that was the whole point of the video. And some of the switches, the 4 blocks and the 5 block switches or whatever, or the piggybacks, you did a really good job just disguising yourself. Devon's a good blocker, man. You can.
I mean, that's the toughest part, right? Is like that balance between hiding it and getting there early.
Yep.
Being able to like consistently get the dig. So
how good are you guys giving each other permission to do that?
Say that again?
How good are you guys, I guess, mentally, as far as giving each other permission to do that? Because there's some people like, dude, if I'm calling 2, we're not switching. This is where I want you to be at that time. Don't be doing none of this freelance late switch, change call bullshit.
Well, I'd say we definitely have, like, I mean, because we've been playing together for so long too, like in our minds as a team, what a perfect 3 or 4 is, or not even a perfect one, but what our basic 3 or 4 is, and then any changes to it will usually just be talked about throughout the match, saying like, oh, he's taking a second look, so hold it a little bit longer, or he's seeing you on the way up, so maybe you just hold and dive into the seam, not the full angle, and I'll just run for the high line. Just small adjustments like that are made throughout the match. But I'd say as far as our understanding is of the 3s and 4s and the timing behind it, we have kind of a basic one that is really consistent, and we're able to give it like a consistent look on.
Yeah, you guys are a coach's wild dream, by the way. I mean, look, as a coach, I've coached some players with strong personalities. I coach players who are kind of like self-sufficient. They just need a couple of words here and there, like Rafu and Kevin, Rodriguez and Kevin McCulloch. Like, I worked with them before Manhattan Beach. They were qualifying for the draw. I played in that tournament too. That was the only one I ever played in.
Really?
I was 47. Just
you coached too?
Huh?
You coached as well?
Yeah. Well, the coach is telling Kevin he can't be in the box, and Kevin's like, F off. And then the ref walks away because Kevin's got like diplomatic immunity. He has points, but they got in the draw and contenders bracket. They won like 5 straight matches before losing to Todd Rogers and Stafford their last match. So I worked with Earl and Jake. That was Hermosa Beach. That was their first main draw. Samuels, we work together every chance I get because Samuels is a very strong personality, and if you've ever played with him, you can't imagine like how someone can be that guy's coach. But surprisingly, if he knows you better, and if you practice with him, and if you prepared with him before the tournament, right? It's different. So
I've got a tournament in with Jeff. We played one in the Huntington Pier, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Just one though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, strong personality, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying he's different. Not everybody is the same. Some people are really, really easy to coach. Like the reason why you guys are coaches, Wild Dream, because you guys already have a decent volleyball IQ, and you're only trying to enlist people that are there to help you win. And there's so many coaches that might be that. I mean, if you guys asked me to do Chicago, I'll probably say no because it's my kid's first day of school. So I didn't go for Jeff. I didn't go for Corey. I ain't go for nobody. So there's only one first day of school. So
absolutely.
So I'd like to at some point let the partnership resurface, but there's some questions I wanted to get in because this is half interview, half podcast.
Sure.
Let's start with what got you into volleyball. Why volleyball? What the hell?
Yeah. I mean, simple answer. My dad loves volleyball. He kind of wanted me to be able to play with him. He'd have this Sunday fours group that he'd go out to Playa del Rey and play with. Wanted me to be able to play with them, so I started. Then from there, Santa Monica Pier. That's when it was still like really popular. There's still the challenge courts going on.
He kind
of got me into it with that fours group. I started to like it a little bit, just thinking it was fun messing around on the beach, and then I wanted to play at the pier. And so he practiced with me until he thought I was good enough a little bit to sign up on a challenge court, and then started playing challenge games down there, and just slowly started getting better and better and better. And then after that, funny coincidence. I don't know if you know this at all. Anna Collier, you know her, of course.
Yeah.
She's my godmother. So then, she was a little bit involved with getting me into volleyball too. But then, at a certain point, she saw me play and said, "Hey, he has to try out for High Performance USA." Did that, made it the first year, I think, and then from there, just kind of kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and everything happened, and just loved it all. So I kept going.
So it's incestuous then. You're just family, godparents, father, this and that. I get it. There's something very interesting about that. Like, I've been on the West Coast for 5 years. All right. Now, in New York, our incestuous relationships are on a global level. Where here, it's on a regional one. Like, there's 5 or 6 zip codes. Everyone knows each other. So it's not a big deal. For me, it's like I'm at Barcelona. I'm at the Olympics. I'm having a conversation with the head coach from the Netherlands, who's telling me why I should set instead of hit outside. You know, I was on a German team. I was on a military community team and then a German club team. And then a decade and a half later, I'm coaching his kid in New York, Hunter High School. I'm his kid's head coach. So that's the fun. Netherlands, right? To that. So that's just or Tina Gurdina, right? USC, Dane's pair 1 player who was in the Olympics representing her country. Her godfather, Aldis Lucis of Latvia, is my volleyball mentor. He taught me how to coach indoor volleyball. So,
really?
So his name is Aldis Lucis. He's a UCLA guy. He was a wrestler. And I guess a 4th string setter, but he ain't setting if you got Karch Kara and Sinjin running the 6-2. You're just not. Yeah. You just ain't gonna get that playing time. So, Rick Amon, who played with Karch at UCLA, he's my beach mentor. He's in Puerto Rico. So, but I'm like Puerto Rico, Latvia, here. So that's just an interesting tidbit I wanted to. Because it's a podcast and we got a whole bunch of colors. So I have another volleyball question for you. All right,
yes, sir.
You learned the game. You're coming up in this game. Your dad played. Anna Collier is a savage. All of these chess pieces are shaping up, and which leads to this very, very question. Was there and I've asked other players this, including John Mayer. Was there a particular tournament or a match when you left the match telling yourself, I'm really good at this, and I think I can do this for real? Was there a defining moment? Was it just an
Yeah, that's a
accumulation?
good question.
My question is, was there an accumulation, or was there, during that accumulation, was there a particular tournament where you left and everybody's like, yo, John, that was awesome. You know, holy
Yeah,
shit, you got it. Or hey, bro, when you going to play pro? So
yeah,
the floor is yours if you get the question.
yeah. No, absolutely. It's a great question. I'd say it's definitely AVP New York 27, either 2018 or 2017.
Oh, it's you and Tim.
Yeah, me and Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Before that, I think I had won one match out of 6 or 7 in AVP qualifiers, which was tough because youth tournaments, I kind of just won everything. Not like it was still very competitive. I had a great age group, but everything that there was to win, I'd always just get a great partner and be able to win it. So I was kind of spoiled going into the actual men's tournaments and coming in and just getting the shit kicked out of me every match. Just realizing it's a completely different game. But that New York tournament, Timmy and I were training for, what tournament was it? U19 World Champs in China. I think.
Yeah, that was a big one. You and Tim.
Yeah, we were training to qualify for it, not to even go for it yet. But we played that AVP New York and played Christian Honer. Forget who his partner was. First round, we beat them in 3, and then we played Rafi and Brandon Clements. That was right after Brandon and Ben kind of split ways. Rafi picked up Brandon. They were kind of hot shit. And then,
That was that 2018 or 2017?
2018, it has to be.
Yeah,
I think.
because 2017 that was a gnarly qualifier. That was Ricardo and Kame Shock in a qualifier. That was Reed Pretty and Madison McKibbin in the qualifier. I mean, what? All right.
Yeah, no, New York's always been a bitch, but it was never like that.
No, it's just gnarly.
Or not one that I've played.
Gnarly. Just imagine Cam Beans playing his best volleyball, but he has to play Ricardo and Shock the first round. So, all right, walk me through this, because the whole time while you're talking, I'm pulling it up actually. So
Yeah, for sure. Set 1 we beat Christian Honer.
Ooh.
I can't remember for the life of me who he was playing with.
Honer was playing with Chris Vaughn.
Chris Vaughn, yes, that's it. Yeah, he was playing with Vaughn. Beat them in 3, I believe. Then we get Rafi and Brandon, and I don't know. It's kind of a theme of today, but yeah, first set they kicked the shit out of us.
You're like, I know what they're saying right now. Look at that. Look at that. It should be total score. It should be whoever wins by total score. Whoa. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, look at the next 2 sets too. 21-19, 15-13. That's gonna take a while. Look how short the match was. Like that first set went by in like 11 minutes or something.
Dude, these are these are lessons. These are teaching tools. Look, eventually you're gonna get older and you're gonna teach some kid out there like it's not if you can win by 11 or 10 or you can win by 2. It's still one win.
4 resets.
And then you could say, hey, look, back when I played in 2018, I want to show you something. Look at this.
Seriously.
So, okay. All right. So we got Honer and Vaughn. That's not an easy out, even though,
that was not an easy one at all. That's a good team.
No, but honestly, if it's a scrap fest, I give you and Tim every bit of a chance as if it's just this conventional power game. If it's a scrap fest, I think you could win that or lose that. But so you got Clemens and Paulis.
Yeah.
Rafi Paulis is like my player, my most improved player. Like the first half of this year, he looks so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Harvard boy.
He's playing great.
Right. Yeah. All right. So that's 15-13.
Timmy and I, we were, and I think that's when we had Alzina in our box. I was wrong. We had qualified for the China tournament at this point because we had Alzina with us at this tournament.
Right.
He was helping us through it and just made a couple adjustments. Came back in the second set playing with everything to lose. Not really with nothing to lose, with everything to lose, and then just kind of figured some stuff out. Kept rolling with it, and I think they didn't really expect us to be able to put like a real defense in front of them, and we did and
Did you
figured
split
it out.
block?
Yeah, we split block,
Good.
and I remember. I think I remember us just running twos on Rafi the whole time and just kind of trying to take away that. Because something different about me and Tim too was it's not like most teams where you the opponent's best swing you can just put a block in front of their face. Me and Tim, that's, I mean, not really an option. Even Rafi is just going over the top of us, around us. He's seeing a ton of courts, so we had to put for Rafi's gnarly wrist away swing down the line because he was on the right side. We had to put our defense there, and it just ended up working a bunch. So
It is nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like you can block line and he can still hit the shot. It's crazy. I mean,
absolutely.
for anyone that's never seen him, continue. Sorry.
And then squeak out a third as well. It was tough. I remember lots of long rallies. It wasn't like we just kind of cleaned them up surgically or anything like that and picked them apart. It was a lot of scrappy volleyball, a lot of long rallies, and ended up barely coming ahead in the end. That was the first match, kind of like you were talking about. I was walking around a qualifier and everybody was walking up to me, wanting to talk to me. Just, oh shit, man, what's your name? What are you doing? What are you like? Who'd you just beat? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was in Brooklyn too.
Yeah, exactly.
That was and that's great because that
Yeah.
you get a good turnout, like an after work turnout,
Yeah.
especially since you guys
Well, that
made
was
it
that
fourth
awesome
round.
venue with like that restaurant right there, and you could go on the roof. Remember?
Yes.
And you had the view of all the courts. That place was the best. I love that place.
And it's night lights, dude. You can play
Yeah.
till 1 in the
Absolutely.
morning there.
Yeah, I think we went into the dark in our last round of the quality. But
Please.
yeah, after that Rafi and Brandon match we played Marshall Brock and Aaron Rice.
Okay.
We had that was definitely the craziest match of the quality. Got them up 20 so beat them the first. We were up on them 20-18 in the second. Score froze, and they ended up coming back and beating us in the second. And then they got up on us 14-11 in the third. And with the freeze, we ended up coming back, making it 16-14.
Wow. And then, okay, last but not least, this is a play-in. This is Ian Satterfield.
And that was the beast.
Yeah, and the dirty New Yorker. Look, Mark is not an easy guy to beat in New York, in a setting he's all but familiar with. He's originally from Queens, New York. I know he went to George Mason, but he does spend a lot of time in Long Island, and there's something to be said about going there.
Definitely
early.
had the home crowd there. He had a lot of.
They don't. New York don't like that. I mean, at that time, New York didn't like him. They ended up liking him later. I remember he had Kurt Toppling. They was playing the McKibbins in 2016, and they were cheering for the McKibbins. And I'm like, damn, you can't even get some love from your own home state. But let me. Mark was a hothead back then, but who he is now, God, he's the guy. That guy's like living proof that like. You can't judge someone by 5 years ago. Like, and I'm not even talking about the game because I'm not. Yeah. I mean, it would be incredibly stupid of me to judge you as a player now from what you and Tim were 5 years ago. Yeah. That was an exciting team, but your volleyball IQ right now, like that, you and Tim right now beat that team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You and that team beat Burki. Yeah. What Cannon would, and most possibly will beat Burki and Satterfield. And I'm just. I give myself permission to say that because I think Jeff Alzini.
Oh, damn. I thought you were talking about me and Tim from now beat me and Tim from back then.
No, come on. Y'all gotta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think
that's like striking a minor, man.
Yeah. No, I think Tim and I could definitely get that win if we played again then. Yeah. We're just completely different players now. We were like legitimate boys back then. You're right. Like,
well, something a lot of us older players suffer from is I call it veterans curse, and this isn't just like a double A. This isn't. There's like double A, there's triple A, and then there's different levels of open, right? And all the way up to the World League, to the best in the world. No player, no team can help but fall trapped to this. If I played you 4 years ago, and I beat you, and if you play me now and you beat me, I'm pissed. And the real reason why I probably lost in the first place, because in my mind, I still think I have the advantage of playing someone that I did not completely see the way you've improved.
Yeah.
And if you see, and I'm telling you, Satterfield and Burek, I mean, as experienced as they are, all the way up to the Russians, to Krasnokov and Stoyanovsky, if they come in believing they have a psychological advantage from what they did to you, maybe not the recent past, but like let's say it's two seasons ago, and this is what, almost four years ago, right? This is 2018, 3 years ago. So the veterans' curse is, sometimes they fail to realize this ain't John Schwengel. This ain't Schwengel and Brewster from 3 years ago. I mean, I mean, it's weird. It's like Chris Rock doing his stand-up comedy thing. He's like, I'm 50 years old, and everyone looks at him. He's like, New Jack City was a long time ago. So talk about, since I'm on the subject of. It's crazy. Yeah. Where did I just jump back and forth? I drove us both off the cliff. All right, for America. I got you and Tim on my subject matter mind. Talk about China a little bit. The experience of going there. Did Alzina go with you there too?
Yeah, dude. That easily probably one of the gnarliest trips I'll ever take in my life. Nanjing, China is crazy, man. It I don't know how they had a volleyball tournament out there. First off, it was like legitimately like 130 degrees. Yeah. It was the most intense and wild heat I've ever felt in my life. And we went to Cuba where it was super hot, Thailand where it was super hot. That's, I mean, somewhat nearby. Argentina when it was hot. I don't know. We've been all over to really hot places. AVP next in Texas.
Was it hot at night too? Or was it desert weather?
Was
it really like the South Bay?
It was very dry, very like desert-like, yeah. But people were passing out, people were peeing, people were, like, yeah, it was wild. Just all this on the court too. And the other really weird thing about the city is that it's like a very protective culture because of like some horrible stuff that happened there in World War I in the past. So it's very sheltered and very protective. They don't really like foreigners at all. So it was a weird experience being there as like almost what they viewed as kind of like a tourist, like just in here for some stupid beach volleyball tournament,
And they stare at you for a long time, don't they?
Yeah.
You walk into a room, it's like, you're like, do you know you're violating the 7-second rule, guys?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just very different culture, very different food. The heat, I'm gonna remember that heat for the rest of my life. I'm most thankful for it because it makes nothing really feel like that hot anymore.
Yeah,
I've felt hotter, so it always doesn't seem like crazy.
Well, the reason why I was asking, like New York, right?
Yeah.
It can be 85, but the humidity makes it feel like 100.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about New York, on the social level, if it's hot during the day, you don't have to worry about dressing up at night. You don't have to worry about wearing a coat. You can go to a roof party, and that very much like Hawaii, I guess, that humidity kind of carries over, and you can party at night. When I moved here to the South Bay, I'm like, oh, nice roof deck, nice patio. I'm gonna be out here on my laptop at night. Yeah. It's freezing, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
It's brick, dude. It's brick out here at night. So that's why I was asking it. Was it like, how was the night? Were the nights as warm as
the perfect day? Night matches were very comfortable. Other than I forget what the bugs are called. I think there were cicadas. There was like cicadas everywhere at night, just, like circling the courts and the bleachers and everything.
You're just like, I've never seen anything. Where's the raid? I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Yeah, it was really wild. It kind of made watching the matches a little bit hard, but it was the temperature was great. On the court was great. At night, lights were awesome. It was like a full FIVB stadium and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, our day matches, I'd never experienced anything like that heat. They'd have these like ice cold showers right outside the court for right when you finish your games, and you'd go under the shower and you'd get like less wet because you'd have a layer of sweat like that thick on yourself.
It's just, how do we remove that layer? I need some real water, bro. Were you at New Orleans? Were you at Coconut Beach?
No, not New Orleans. I think that's the only one I missed this year.
That was really hot too. People
Really?
clamped up. In fact,
I heard it was pretty hot.
yeah. In fact, Kluth and Nuss
too.
won via forfeit.
Well, yeah, and Evan and Logan, Piotr was cramping. In the
Yes,
final.
that too. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was there. I was calling. I called center court. There was. I guess for beach volleyball, what I would call my break, because it was outside of the region. You know, like I've done Pepperdine's home games, FIVB. I did Vegas, but this is something where like a whole bunch of people didn't know me, and they had this argument in the room. Like, I don't care about star power. I don't care. This guy did that. Is this guy the best man for the job or not? Yes or no? And like everyone in the room said yes. So as far as like breaks are concerned, you know, they started me on court 1 or whatever, and I did one solo, I did one color commentary, and then I did one play-by-play, and then I did the finals. I did play-by-play, and that crazy dude, that MC, what the hell's his name? Dave Shaw. Were you in Atlantic City?
Yeah, I was there.
That dude is. That dude is a
hilarious,
savage, man.
Yeah.
He's a savage, and he wore that Boston shit to piss me off. He has a jacket.
Yeah.
Did you see the jacket? It's sewn in.
Are you talking about the green one or the other one?
No, it's a red jacket with Boston signs on it and red socks sewn in.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap jacket. It's like Oxford clothes. It starts at like $2,300 a suit. That's how you start before they start tailoring. And this dude sewed a whole bunch of Boston and Red Sox in there. And I'm like, do you have the pants too? He's like, I got the shorts. And I'm like, oh God, what? Oh, Jesus Christ. You know? So Atlantic City is I guess an example of how it's hot during the day, but your nightlife is kind of cool. They had like this little outdoor club.
Well, they're a lot more like dry.
Wendy Jones and I, she's kind of like my travel wife. We there was a fire drill at the hotel, a fire alarm at the Tropicana. So we decided to. I just felt the ground shake the whole time, and Wendy's like, maybe we shouldn't be inside a building with the ground shaking. So we went outside, and on the beach, when we looked, we saw like these lights, these overhead lights, these little light bulbs. We saw a DJ like on a high tower, and I'm like, holy sugar, these guys out here dancing. And I'm like, I forgot we can do that. So China. All right, so China, right?
Yeah.
Tell everybody what part of China, where in China?
Nanjing,
Nanjing.
China.
Cool. And you said you went to
Nanjing
Cuba?
or Nanjing.
You said you went to Cuba as well?
Cuba, yeah, Havana.
Nice.
It was pretty sweet.
Was that a NORCECA?
Yeah, it was like a youth NORCECA. It was a qualifier for the 2018 Youth Olympics. Because the winner of whoever got to go to China got to go to that. So Tim and I went there and we played, and we ended up qualifying by getting a third there. It was a fun tournament.
You played your first main draw.
That's 2018.
Was that Seattle?
Rowdy Lennon, yeah.
Yeah. How'd that happen? What tournament did you win? Who did you blackmail? Who'd you blackmail? What kind of pictures did you have on Donald's son that got you to the main draw?
That's when they gave us the wild card for the AVP first stuff.
Okay.
And dude, I wasn't fully in like the qualifier scene, like fully in. I'd played before. And that was kind of my first year, like sort of taking it seriously, but I didn't really know anybody or anything, so I didn't really understand it at the time. But people went fucking ballistic about that. We got that bid, you know, like, and so like, yeah, Rowdy and I, like, I mean, we weren't even cocky or anything because we didn't really understand like how big of a deal it was. But like, we kind of stroll in on Thursday, like just checking out the qualifier site, like, I don't know, like not, like I said, not cocky, but kind of just being like, hey, like, what's up, guys? Look at us. We're in the main, you know, like we're in the main draw. Dude, people are looking at us like they just want to walk up to us and like take it from us, you know. It was wild. And then the McKibbins too. My family's kind of tight with them. My uncle in Hawaii teaches at Punahou. He taught them how to drive. He did their driver's ed. And then Rowdy, he was the coach of his 18s club team. Or Matt, both of them were Madison and Riley.
Okay.
So we knew them super well. We were pretty close with them. Quick funny story. We had a kind of like a volleyball get together at my house in Santa Monica. my family has a house right on the sand, and women's coach of UCLA, Mike Sealy, he's there. Crabs are there, Spencer McLaughlin, McKibbins, and I might be leaving some names off the list, but I don't remember the rest. They're all out playing fours or something. Mike Sealy has the idea of filling up water balloons and chucking them at the court from the second story of the house. So we do it, go upstairs, get ready to chuck them, throw mine first, launch it, going towards the court, and we see it's going for people. It's either me or Mike goes, "Hey, heads up!" Madison McKibbin looks up, and then boom! It's right in the eyeball.
Oh no!
And I was like, I think I was like 15 at the time too, and I had just started getting into volleyball, and then all these great volleyball players are at my house,
and the dude's a giant standing next to you too.
Yeah. No, seriously. He had like a black eye and everything from it too. It's funny to look back at, but in the moment it was horrifying. But he couldn't have been cooler about it though.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
but anyways, so we were super tight with them, and they were the ones who we ended up bumping down from.
Yeah, because they had to be the one qualifier seed.
Yeah. I forget what the draw was like in Seattle. I think it was a 16 at the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's 12 on points 13. And 4 qualifier spots. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they were pretty unhappy. Madison ended up being really cool about it, interviewing us for their YouTube channel and stuff, and like talking about it and talking about how we know them, and like what it was like to play in the main draw. We played Phil and Nick on Stadium Court the first day. It was really cool. But Riley didn't want to talk to us for that tournament.
Isn't it crazy that it's in our human nature to hate the player and not the game? Isn't it amazing? I mean, on a layman's scale.
That's what Rowdy and I were saying on Thursday. Like, we're walking around, everybody's giving us glares, everybody's staring at us like this shit we didn't earn or whatever, and we're just like, did y'all want us to like say no? Like when they said to give, when they offered a bid in the main draw, like say, oh no, sorry guys, we don't deserve this, please, no.
Liars, all of them. Every single one of them would have said yes if they were in your shoes. Every single, regardless of age, they could have been 5. All right, every single one of them would have said yes. And again, to like the audience listening, I think it's crazy that if someone gets voted like prom queen, instead of getting mad at the voters, y'all want to take it out on the queen. What's your problem? No, what's my problem, right? What's your problem? What's our problem as human beings? Because and at some point in our lives, John, we've all done it.
Yeah. You like a face to put blame to, you know? Mm-hmm. It's hard to blame a population. Mm-hmm. It's easy to look at you and be mad at you.
Well, to me, 2 things come into play. One, if you have an issue with the people if there's an issue with that guy doing that, we already covered that, right? Take it out on someone else. I'm here. I'm doing my job. This is what I want to do. It's an opportunity, and I realize it's an opportunity. And just like every single person in this room and outside the rooms, glaring through the walls, all of you would take it, right? All of you would take it. That's one. And 2, I just think, okay, Riley and Madison, they know you, all right? They know you since you're 15 years old. But I think some people, if they know what you've been through before you even got there, you're there, maybe you deserve to be there, maybe you don't. But if people took a look back, that all the stuff that you've been through before you were even old enough to drink, old enough to drive a vehicle, old enough to serve in the military, right? Old enough to buy cigarettes. If they realize the journey that you took in your childhood that led you to that moment, they'd have a little bit more respect. Sure, they'd have a little bit more fucking respect. Trust me, I know. A guy who's moved here 5 years ago that, came here with what? 30 years playing experience, 20 years coaching, 10 as a commentator. I knew I kind of had to start over again and this and that, but I can speak for you, but only for myself as an older person. If people knew, and I posted on this on social media, if people realize what you went through to get here, there'd be a little bit more fucking respect. Like, John, if you did any reading on me, you'd be like, holy fucking shit, this guy did what? you know? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think you're right to a certain degree too, but kind of like you were saying about you moving out from New York. I mean, once you're an AVP qualifier, like, I think a lot of that does just go out the fucking window, you know?
It's the gladiator pits.
Yeah, exactly. I forget if it was me or Devon, but I thought it was stated perfectly in the qualifiers, because that was the first time we had beat like really good teams and people who were there like expecting to qualify, really, really hungry to qualify. I can't remember which one of us was the one who said it, but it was we kind of deemed it AVP qualifiers as where dreams go to die. So, I mean, yeah, Devon's looking at these guys that we're beating and just like so devastated, like everybody is after they lose in a qualifier. You know, everybody's had that feeling, just being totally distraught and not knowing what to do. But
and it's multiplied.
Hold on, gladiator pit.
Yeah, but it doubles. Sorry to interrupt, but it doubles and triples as you go further into the rounds, right? Because the further into the rounds, the more you're going to run into to a team that expects to qualify.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Well, the more you win, it's just like the more you want it too. So
because everybody
in that last round, it's like, I don't know, it's like two dogs with a bone in the middle, you know.
And outside of the South Bay, you do get a lot of teams like that expect to qualify. Like, look, I see the qualifier in Manhattan Beach, and I know some of those teams, they're there, and they're going to give it the old college try, but in their heart of hearts, they know they ain't going to qualify. Dude, you got Matza, you got Steve Kahn playing with some guy, or, you know, whatever in the first. You got Mark Schuerman, right? Just stop. So, I mean, but, yeah, New York was gnarly like that. You know, Ken Beans wants to qualify until he saw Ricardo in the other end. Like, you guys, I think you and Brewster didn't put the pressure of expectations on your back. I think the cool thing, just going out there and playing gets you a long way. You know,
well, because I mean,
please,
there was good and bad to it, but the mindset of AVP qualifiers at the time was just practice for China. You know, that was the most important thing to us. That was our first priority. So everything else was kind of just practice and getting better and learning from it. So that did help alleviate some of the pressure. It did kind of hurt sometimes, like. I'm sure, like you've said to dudes a million times, just like, fuck everything, just get a ball to the sand somehow. At this point's important, you know. Yes. We didn't really have that. That's maybe what we needed in the end against
Burek and Satterfield.
Mark and Ian, because they definitely had that too. Obviously not that hard against me and Timmy, like not big blocks or whatever. They're big guys where you don't have big blocks. They can just swing around and put a ball to the sand. But we were a little too like. It's hard to say it in a negative aspect, but like technically focused, you know?
Yeah, something else, since we have a whole bunch of listeners on this podcast, something you and I have to remind everybody about the qualifiers, because I tease some people like they know they're not going to make the draw, this and that. I'm half kidding, okay? The other half of me will say this.
Yeah.
It represents the best of each region. So I mean, just this whole thing, this whole validation game people play in their head, which makes them age a hell of a lot faster. Just throw that out the window when you're in the qualifiers. Look, you can have Mark Fornicari in the qualifier in Manhattan Beach, not qualify, lose the second round, but put him in the Pottstown Rumble, grass court.
Yeah.
Put some of those same teams in the main draw, like the Baumgrens or Troy Field or Eric or whatever. And I'm telling you, Fornicari is going to beat you. Fornicari is going to take your lunch money. How do I know? Because he did. He and Nathan Nolan Albrecht did it all the way to the finals. Subsequently losing to who's this Russian cat with his jump serve that shakes the fucking gods? Andrei Belov.
He used to play with Matza,
Savage. So Belov and Josh Lucas.
No joke, man.
Yeah.
I think it was me and Tim who played against him. Dude, feels like you're passing a bowling ball, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's an indoor. I call it an indoor worthy jump serve. Yeah. Like you'll see guys like KJ. Remember Chris Johnson when he entered the beach scene, and when he's on fire with that serve, you're just like. Yeah. I played him in Central Park. I was up 20-17, and he asked me, he's like, what's the score? I was like, I said 17-20. Guy serves 5 aces. I'm like, okay. All right, he could have just done that anytime he wanted. It's good. Okay, that's good to know. No, but I think the point I was trying to make, right? Jeff Samuels, right? Chicago didn't qualify. What does he do? He goes to Motherlode, wins the whole damn thing. A tournament where a lot of people like Miles Evans and Kalinske have not won, have gotten to the finals. So sometimes it's about your region. Sometimes it's about people that have cracked the code, because there's some people that make the main draw every time they qualify because they figured it out, right? They cracked the code. The McKibbins we were talking about them. They were qualifying machines for a long time.
Yeah.
I hope they never have to qualify again.
Dude, they earned it.
If
you know who else earned it too? I think is Eric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude.
Baranek?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, 2019, he was the fucking king of the qualifiers, dude.
He qualified 7 times with 6 different partners. A total of 8 times with 7 different partners. A total. But like you said, 4 times with 4 different partners. What was it? It was Matt Proser. That was great because I remember they played Lotman and Derek Olson, which is the 3rd round. It wasn't even the last round to play in. Who's the indoor guy from USC, outside hitter, driving a fucking Uber? What the hell's his name? Yoder. He played with Yoder. Yes. He qualified with Lucas Yoder. Yeah. He qualified with Mark Brunstein.
Yeah,
Michael Brunstein.
That was Seattle. That was the first one ever, I believe.
So qualifying machine, hitman for hire. That's what I was calling him.
Yeah,
hitman for hire.
He was with Marty too in Austin.
Yes, Lorenz.
And then Topple for Huntington. I don't think they had to qualify.
They were in a draw.
Yeah.
And it was Ratty. Him and Ratty didn't qualify for Hermosa Beach. They lost to
I think it was him and Bill that didn't qualify.
No, him and Bill qualified for Manhattan Beach.
But I'm pretty sure they played.
No, it was him and Ratty. They lost to Dave Palm and Dylan Merrick.
Dylan Merrick, yeah. Okay.
And speaking of which, didn't Dave Palm and Dylan beat like Case Bear and Chalk on center court? That was,
I don't remember.
Well, you don't remember because you were one of those guys, man. That was Hermosa Beach 2019. That was the tournament of the upstarts. Everybody who was 20 years old or younger was kicking ass. Chrissy Jones, Muno, from the 43rd seed to the semifinals. Megan Kraft and Maple, quarterfinals from the qualifier. The Norris twins made the draw. 17, just turning 18 years old. I'm like, which one turned 18 first? You fucking idiot. They're twins. Banesh and Adam Roberts beat Stafford Slick and Billy Allen. So that was the tournament of the upstarts. Like that was you guys sending a message saying, "Hey, we're coming." You don't think there's a good generation of people bringing up the rear? That's a great sample size, And that's the other thing. The last question I was going to get to, because I know you have to be starving right now. And I'm gonna be training some people, and this afternoon I'm training my wife. This is my happy hour. This is like our happy hour day. I use her as my experimental guinea pig. I try new drills, see what works or whatever, and then I make up by just having dinner with her. But there's been a lot of, and this is a tough question, and let's just not put emotion into this, and that's a tough challenge for me because everything. Yeah. If you've seen any of my podcasts, I go off on these spiels all the time, but there's been ridiculous chatter. Some of it's justified, and some of it's unfair. Phil's retiring, right? Mm-hmm. Jake's gone. Nice send off. Even though I didn't see a send off for Phil, maybe he's still playing. Who knows? There are concerns about the next generation of volleyball players bringing up the rear and what it means to the world scene. I'm gonna give you the floor in a minute, but I want to give you my take. Yeah,
absolutely.
I didn't see it at first. I didn't like what I saw at first, but sometimes it's to appreciate a whole movie. You can't just watch the first 10 minutes and be dismissive. You like Shawshank Redemption, right? Have you ever seen that? If you turned off the TV the night before his escape, you would have thought it was a shitty movie.
Yeah.
This is depressing. I'm not watching this shit.
Yeah.
In fact, my ex was gonna leave, and I told her, I said, 5 more minutes. Watch 5 more minutes, then you can turn it off. And then when he escaped, she's like, "Oh, what happened?" And I'm like, "Nah, we're gonna turn this off." I don't turn it off. So for me, I had to watch the whole movie to appreciate Shawshank Redemption. Speaking metaphorically, which seeps and
Yeah.
transcends in what I'm talking about now. I didn't see it with you 3 years ago and Tim Brewster. I saw flashes, and I thought the flashes were very few and far in between. Now I'm being honest with you, and me and you, something you know about me is I only critique volleyball players with volleyball. I ain't saying nothing about your mother. I ain't saying you should go fucking die and live in a log cabin. All right, but I see it now. So my question is for the people who don't see it. Do you share the same message I do? Just say, hey, have a little patience. You know, I wasn't even old enough to fucking drink, and you think I'm supposed to be a AVP champ? I'm not even old enough. I'm not even old enough to pop the fucking champagne.
Well, yeah, I mean that, and like, it's so hard because like the higher and higher level that you get, there's so few opportunities to actually compete at that level.
Right.
And then I mean, look at like the concentrated older talent in our country that's been around for the last 10 years. You know, it's very like congested at the top as far as the best players. I mean, they're undoubtedly the best. I mean, nobody below them is better than them, but it's hard to get to that level and get past it if you're not getting the opportunities, you know, and that's to be able to travel to 3, 4, 5 stars. We have no idea how, I don't know, Andy's a good example. We have no idea how Andy would be doing at those tournaments right now. And it's easy to, especially before he got these great finishes this year on the AVP, it's easy to kind of dismiss him and say, oh, you can't even do this, do that, whatever. But until you actually see them and give them tries and tries and tries and tries, I think it's unfair to dismiss anybody.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if you were to judge me, Tim, Casey Losick, Miles Partain, any of us on our first few qualifiers, we weren't like fucking naturals going into the qualifiers, winning matches instantly. You know, it took us all like 5, 6, 7 to be able to make it 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and then even longer than that to actually be able to make it in.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And I have. Look, the women's scene, I already knew they were coming. I knew April and Alex were gonna do their thing. April's the best player in the world, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying that as an American who loves his own, because what you know about me, I'm the first one. I'm the first one to hold Americans' feet to the fire. Picking up Alex Kleiman, that's not a bad pick, right? Good indoor player, outside hitter that brings serve receive, that can bring block, and she has size. So I knew they're going to do good. I knew Team Slaves were going to do good. Anna Coyer is a good coach. Having Dana as an assistant doesn't hurt. TKN, Cloth and Nuss, might have come on the scene to people who only watch the tour. But you and me, we knew that.
Oh, yeah.
We knew that. We knew. You know, they won 8 straight tournaments before they even finished their last year at college, which they finished 35-0, and then won Coconut Beach, then won Wapaka, then won Atlantic City, and then from the qualifier all the way to the main draw, all the way to the finals, won Atlanta, and then finished 5th in Manhattan, finished 3rd or whatever. The women are looking good, and they're nice too, because there's a lot of cocky people out there. It's really nice to cheer for someone that you like, you know.
Well, this sport, I mean, this could just be a personal experience for myself, but I really feel like this sport, the humbleness almost gives you a strategic advantage over other people, you know? Like, this isn't kind of like basketball or football where kind of just say, like, fuck the competition, have the killer mindset, just I'm going to hit through their blocks, I'm going to hit over them, I'm just going to beat them by being better. At least from my experience, I don't see myself as better than a lot of people. I think it's just who plays better in the match, you know? And
ain't nobody gonna boo John Schwengel. Who gonna boo John Schwengel?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're straight. But yeah, it's like just kind of being able to understand who you are as a player, and then who the other team is as a player, and what's the possible way that you can beat them. You know, it's not always about like who's fucking better. It's kind of just who plays better a lot of the time.
Time in the video room helps too. Like if the players aren't doing it, at least enlist a coach that can. You know, like. I mean, Jeff, I wasn't his real coach per se. I just nobody lives in the video room like a hermit more than me. I mean, I've showed people this, but I'll show you this now. This is what my command center looks like. This is basically when I'm not doing juniors. This is where I spend all my time. Sorry, if I can. I guess I'm not gonna. There it is. This is where I spend all my time. Monitors. This place. Those are it's my education, military service, and some important trophies. Because right, John, we can't keep them all. We can only keep the ones that tell a story, right? As you get older, that room full of trophies, you can only pick out ones that keep.
People were just giving me a ton of shit for throwing away. I had a big handful of stuff I threw away.
You
People were giving me shit for it, but it didn't really.
You can't keep them all.
I'm never gonna talk about it again.
Dude, I'm a late bloomer. Okay, you won more trophies probably before the age of 18 than I've won in a 10-year period. Okay. So you have to pick them out. Right. So so on my wall, I got the German regional championship. I played in Germany. My first conference championship with Hunter. I played at Hunter. I was at Hunter for a cup of coffee, and of course my honorable discharge from the military, and then my college degree. So whatever. But sorry, go ahead. Yeah. But I like what you guys are doing, and I know we got to go in a minute. But I like the direction it's headed, and I like the people from your group. I wouldn't say team. It's almost like an AOC thing for like Democrats. There's like 5 people. They call it the squad or whatever. People from your squad have cracked the code and they figured it out. Miles Partain, he figured out the formula on how to qualify. And he knew it wasn't not qualifying wasn't indicative of him being good enough or not. It's just about knowing your region, knowing your competition, and figuring that out. Because again, those same guys at Motherlode or at Wapaka or the Pottstown Rumble, which is the most grueling volleyball tournament in all of volleyball. Big court, right, side out. Those guys will clean your clock. If you're gonna go in there, I was in the main draw, blah blah blah. So God bless you guys for that, man. God bless you for figuring it out. Last question before you go. You and Schwengel, not you and you are Schwengel. You and Burki qualified Chicago main draw. Did you go into the players' tent and not feel like an imposter?
I mean, I don't know. That was my third one. I kind of did a little bit.
That's right. You did it with Brewster. Sorry.
Yeah, or no, I'm sorry, not Brewster. First one with Rowdy, and then second one with Steve Irvin, Hagen's old partner in Hawaii.
Good player, man.
That was seriously. Talk about a great just pound for pound volleyball player. That's Steve Irvin. He is disgusting.
Yes, man. He is.
He's so good. But
and he's highly intelligent too.
Oh yeah, very. He just had a boy. He just had a baby.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God.
He lives like the border of Santa Monica and Palisades.
Yeah, I'm gonna stalk his profile. I'm gonna be creepy like that.
That with him was my first time through a qualifier.
Okay.
But I'd already kind of felt the weird vibe in the players' tent, like the guys that you're usually looking at on Amazon Prime or Peacock or whatever. So I wouldn't say I was like less of an imposter. I'd say just more used to it. But Devon for sure was sitting down like, oh, this is fucking real,
Yeah. I think what's his name? Travis Murder was saying the same thing when he qualified. Mm-hmm. It took a couple of times qualify. Everyone sees your face, everyone whatever, and this and that. And I mean, I'm a guy with a Yankee hat. I'm just rolling up in there as a coach. I'm like, I thought that's the guy who just shoots YouTube videos. So there's also a part of me that as long as I don't look to the left and the right, I don't have to break character. I have to be like, don't look at me like that. Again, I don't like playing the validation game, but I will say, just like I'm saying to you, if they knew what you've been through just to get to there, there wouldn't be this feeling where someone makes you feel like that. Only you make yourself feel like that. John, all right, so we're going to wrap up, but let's say there's a fan out there, someone who wants to stalk you, someone that wants to know more about John Schwengel. Is there what's your like Insta handle, or is there a particular site? USA Volleyball, and I know you got a profile on and this and that. So I want to know more about John. Where do I go?
I'd say the only thing really is just Instagram. John Schweng, JOHN SCHWENGGG. Other than that, I'm on Twitter, John Schwengel. I'm on Snapchat. That's it, really. Not really on Facebook or anything like that.
All right, cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, John might love all of you, but me, I don't. In fact, I can't stand any of you. In fact, I'm out of here. In fact, we're out of here. You got to go eat, and so do I. I got to get fat. So for all of you at home, for all of you on your iPad, for all of you on your desktop, for all of you online at Starbucks watching this on your Droid, for John Schwengel, this is the Option Podcast. I'm Jason DeBiz. This is episode 110. Stay with me. I'm going to hit my music. We're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.